The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Thank you for joining us here at FRC Media. You know, the construction project along Route 79 in terms of the rebuild of that, what's now a beautiful boulevard near the waterfront, is pretty much complete. Next stages, of course, will be what will happen to the nearly 20 acres of developable land on the waterfront. State Representative Carole Fiola filed a bill last year to have that land, which currently is under state control, actually be controlled by the Fall River Redevelopment Authority, which she feels would lead toward the development of that site down on the waterfront. Please be joined by Representative Fiola. Representative Fiola, how are you? Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Keith. Great to be here. Yeah, 21.55 plus or minus acres.
Yeah, but who's counting, right?
Who's counting? That's right.
Let me ask you, the bill has sort of changed a little bit, and we'll get into that a little bit in a few moments. But when you first filed the initial bill, what was the impetus around doing that?
Yeah. Well, it was requested by the Redevelopment Authority, in Fall River Redevelopment Authority, to do so. That also accompanied support by about 100 business and community people, leaders in the city of Fall River. And I felt very comfortable filing it because what it called for is, since it's currently state land, it called for ultimately the land to be a once completed project, as it is now, this stage, that for the development of that now, that would be in the hands of the Fall River Redevelopment Authority in terms of all the any proceeds that were made by the sale of the land to a developer or developers. The alternative, so they asked that, they prepared the language, and that language is not unlike other land bills that have been, through the legislature in the past for various reasons in various cities and towns. So that went through the committee. And the alternative, if you want to just so they suggested that. I think it's a great idea. And the reason I think it's such a good idea is this is probably it is the most transformative project in my lifetime here in the city of Fall River. And we have an opportunity which is very unique. Let's say there's a profit of $10 million or $5 million. Let's have it reinvested right back here into this community, onto the waterfront, whatever it might need, the parking deck, parking garage, whatever the community and the Redevelopment Authority deem needed for that project, versus that money being thrown into the general fund. And we do not get to close the loop and have that excess funds for development, for redevelopment of this transformative project. So I think it makes perfect sense. So that's why I filed the bill concurrently, because the state believes, it's owned by Mass DOT. The state has a belief that they can own it and be responsible overall. And frankly, I believe that the state has a lot on its plate. The Department of Transportation, they have a lot of projects. Here, it would be a priority. There, it may not be as big as a priority. However, I know the city and the Redevelopment Authority are talking to the state along that simultaneous track, okay? What if it stays with the state? This bill says, what if it goes to the Redevelopment Authority? So that's kind of a simplified version of where we're at. The bill went into committee, not at all unusual for it to have taken the first year of session to go through. It went into state administration committee because it's a land bill, and that's where they put those. They made some changes, and I said, instead of going back and forth, let's just get it right out to Ways and Means. And in Ways and Means, I am working now with that committee who is looking, and matter of fact, we're meeting again next week. I'll be talking to them again later this week to get that language based on the original intent. I'm somewhat confident we can do that, and then take it from there with a vote in the House.
Yeah.
That's my goal. That's the goal of the bill,
Right.
and that's where we're at.
Now let me ask you. So right now that the state is in control of the land because it's there was a state highway there for all those many years.
Yeah.
In terms of if the bill were to go through, and one of the things that I know you've mentioned as well is that a lot of the work that's already been done on coming up with plans for that land has been done by the Fall River Redevelopment Authority, right?
Correct.
They have a master plan. They
Correct.
have a lot of other studies that they've done that it makes sense to fall under the Redevelopment Authority, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what a redevelopment authority does. And we've seen the great work they've done. They've worked in the up in the industrial park area. They have a park there. They've done great work on the city pier. I mean, that would be their focus. And we don't want to be one of a million projects. We want to be the project. And I think we have a transformational opportunity to have any funds. Again, this would not be exclusive funds. This would be a split. It's proposed at 50-50. I mean, if it goes 60-40, whatever, but it's proposed that at least half the money go back to the state, half the money come back to the redevelopment authority for this transformational development opportunity to do more than what is even underway. I think that makes, really good sense that we should share in this, but for the force of this community to work on this for the past 20 years, to get it to this point, this project would still be a highway and there'd be no, there'd be no funds at all. So that's my hope. But again, we file 7,000 bills in the course of a year. Who knows where this will go? But
Right.
I'm very much, feeling so far. I feel, at least on our side in the House, I feel very good. That's what I'm working through. And I feel like we're going to be able to get there.
Yeah. So let me ask you, a lot of this does come down to the money of it, right? Obviously, the state would like to get some revenue from the land. And that's hopefully, you said this will address some of this potentially, depending on how everything works out. But in terms of moving forward, what are the next steps? The bill is before the Ways and Means Committees of just the House or both
No,
sides?
it's a House filed bill. So
Okay.
it will, let's just say in the next 3 weeks or so, something gets agreed upon in the House that will by myself and the Redevelopment Authority and the Ways and Means Committee. And we, they're working on that right now. Then it would be voted on in the House, and then we go over to the Senate for whatever they would do.
Yeah. Obviously Senator Roderick, our senator here, is the chair of the Ways and Means Committee on the Senate side. Has he been briefed about this? And how do you think, if it does get past the House, how will it fare?
Well, I'll be very candid. You may have heard this as well. The senator has initially had some concerns about it coming to the Redevelopment Authority. I cannot tell you what those concerns are, but I do know he's shared that. And I think if it gets over to the Senate, if and when, he'll be able to share those concerns. I will tell you there's another piece to this, which is there is an amount of money from this that is being discussed that might have to be paid back to the federal government, federal highway. And that's also being worked on as we speak. None of these projects are easy, Keith. I think that's the intent here. Everyone likes to think that everything just happens. So far from the truth. I will just tell you, there's a lot of moving pieces. They're all in play, which is a good thing. And that's how you get things done. I will tell you, the governor and lieutenant governor are well aware of the interests we have with this bill. They've been continually briefed from the Redevelopment Authority and from me. And, we'll see, but we got steps to take, right? So that's the logical next step. We will have an agreement to something down the road. There are just currently some differing possibly opinions or desires of how we want to go about this. But either way, we will have a great project on the City of Fall River waterfront. I'm just hoping we get to be able to have take advantage of the transformational opportunity to have some excess funds that, we're encountering some difficult roads ahead. We hear that all the
Right.
time. And
Yeah.
and to be able to get $5 million for Fall River for a parking garage or whatever else might be desired at the point that we need it,
Yeah.
this is an opportunity we just don't want to say we missed up.
Right. Is there any concerns that as this goes through, and again, this will probably be decided by summertime, right? Because you're at the
Oh,
end
yeah.
of a session coming up. There's elections coming up this year.
Yep.
That it'll slow down the overall movement of the
No.
project going forward.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Everything's still moving forward. As you saw, there was a what was it, RFI, request for information meeting that the state held. Don't forget. So we partner with them. We have a good working relationship with them on this project. They love this project, as maybe not as much as we do, but they do. So we're moving along. We're not at the point where we're sold land yet. So, or are selling the land yet. We've got to get requests for proposals, all of that. So it is the intent that the tracks are working, and, as things move along, this will move along and be resolved.
Yeah. All right. Representative Fiola, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.